I'm Barry Trammell, and Jim Tressel is out as the football coach at Ohio State. I don't know who will coach the Buckeyes beyond 2011, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to be Luke Fickell.
That's the guy who's going to be leading the Buckeyes this next fall, at least as it stands right now. Beyond that, we don't know, but we're going to take some guesses here on the press row from the Opubco studios. I'm Jenny Carlson. Barry, it is a mess. I mean, obviously, what happened at Ohio State over the weekend, you've got a big Sports Illustrated expose coming out. Ohio State and Jim Tressel decide it's time to part ways. And here we are. It's, June practically. What do the Buckeyes do next?
Well, I think it's sort of set up nicely for Ohio State in that there's a coach out there perfect for the job who's a fabulous coach and is available, Urban Meyer. Burnout at Florida, but this is a guy that we know is coming back to the sport. This is a guy that tried to quit at Florida a year ago and was talked into coming back very quickly, and this time he said enough. And I think, he's from Ohio. He's sort of made for the Ohio State job. I think he would be a perfect fit. I think it's very likely that Urban Meyer, next November, next December, whenever, is named the new coach at Ohio State.
Well, it sets up perfectly because it really doesn't sound like Urban Meyer's ready to come back yet. He's already made some comments that, lead you to believe not quite ready to pull the trigger on a new coaching job. And obviously everybody felt like the coaching carousel had stopped. You get to this point in the year and you really feel like everything's set for the 2011 season. Obviously this is a brand new thing, but it does look like Luke Fickell's the guy who's going to be the interim for this next year. And maybe Ohio State made that decision in large part because of Urban Meyer. Fickell was supposed to be the interim during Jim Tressel's 5-game suspension to start the year. Unless they do something fantastic, Bear, I can't imagine he's the guy. But this sets up really well. They could get Urban Meyer before anybody else is even thinking about a coaching change next year.
Well, that's right, and you're right. The danger in this kind of situation is with an interim coach is if you have a fabulous year, run the table, make the Rose Bowl, win the Big Ten, make the national title game. Then all of a sudden you sort of got a situation where you might have to consider a coach you weren't really thinking too much about. I don't think that'll happen. I think Luke Fickell probably will not emerge as a candidate. And if it's not Urban Meyer, the number 2 guy on the list is Stoops, but not Bob, Mark Stoops, the defensive coordinator at Florida State. Just like his brothers. It's the darndest thing. He's from Ohio, too. He's from Youngstown.
Obviously, it'd be 3 Stoops brothers coaching Division I programs. It'd be pretty amazing. But, to me, the way that Ohio State has decided to do this, obviously there were a lot of things that have happened over the last few years that have been wrong. But in deciding how they were going to do their coaching search, this was a pretty shrewd move on their part because obviously this next year they're going to be dealing with player suspensions. They're going to be playing shorthanded in some instances. It's going to be hard. It would have been hard, I think, with this sort of unknown hanging over the program at this point to lure somebody big name into the program. Now you've got a chance to really take your bumps. Now, granted, there could be some long-term sanctions that could really hit them hard. If that happens, then the sell still remains a difficult one. But at least you let this unknown that is right now really, really large over this program, you let that dissipate and you allow that next coach to at least have some sort of idea what they're coming into. I think the next coach that comes in, the expectations are going to be there, but they're going to have to be toned back if big NCAA sanctions come in. You're going to be looking at probably reduced scholarships, maybe some postseason ban issues. They're going to have to scale back expectations, but if Urban Meyer's the guy, I don't think they scale him back too terrible far. Hey, stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.